in Lyrical with Mains and Dutch. I'm your host, Mains, my colleague, over in the cold, dark, dank Rainford. It's Mr. Neil Dutton. How are we, Neil?
Cold, dark and dank.
Well, when they invent electricity and light and such like in Rainford, then I'm sure you'll be fine and be able to live in a new world. I was in a former Rainford-style place earlier this week, Chorley, which seems to have invented civilization as they're building houses and office blocks everywhere.
Yeah, but the cakes are crap.
Their cakes are not great.
Horrible.
And all I ever see when I see Chorley is Peter Kay, Chorley FM, coming in your ears.
I mean, Chorley cakes are a piss-poor version of Eccles cakes, which are magnificent.
And I'm not a big cake person in any shape or form, so I'm going to say I don't like them, but I'm not a massive Eccles cake fan. I'm just not a cake person. I'd much rather have a starter than a dessert in that situation. That's just the way I am, though.
Yeah, I agree. Invariably, I'll have both.
I'm not saying I wouldn't have both. I'm just saying if I had to choose between one or the other, I would choose starter as the concept.
Yeah, okay, I can go with that. I mean, you could still have an Eccles cake for a starter.
I guess so. What you put on an Eccles cake? Is it like a scone? So do we put like jam and clotted cream on it, or is it just Eccles cake and that's it?
It's just Eccles cake.
If there are people literally listening to this from below Birmingham or anywhere else other than the north of England, they haven't got an effing clue what we're talking about right now.
Well, maybe it will inspire them, to take to the interweb, to look up Eccles cakes and then see, they sound intriguing, and then retreat to their nearest Waitrose or whatever they have
in the south. Waitrose or other posh establishments, Whole Foods or other such things.
I mean, there must be some booths down south now. So.
No, because that's Waitrose. Booths is just Waitrose.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's just the same concept. It's for village folk. So like Waitrose is for town people, and then Booths is like, we don't like those big supermarket stores in our area. So let's have a Booths. Yeah, but that's Waitrose. You've been tricked. It's
essentially a big village store that costs far too much.
I remember going to look. This has got very northern, but I'm going to continue on. I remember going to London for the first time on projects in about 2004. A long time ago, by the way. I'm thinking, where's Asda? It doesn't exist. It was never a concept. There was Sainsbury's and Tesco's everywhere. Now Tesco's are in Liverpool and the surrounding area, but they never were at that time. There was only the Asda Dutton. The Asda in Aintree. We've got even narrower. We've gone from the north to just, within 2 mile radius of our family homes.
Yeah, the Asda.
The Asda?
Yeah, never Asda. The Asda.
It is the Asda. And Danny Lister will never tell me otherwise, apart from when he's drunk in Belgium. It's a story for another time. In terms of that concept, Dutton, I'd like to celebrate. I don't know if you saw Dutton's tweet earlier in the week, Waxes, but it's mine and Dutton's 15th anniversary of knowing each other, and I haven't killed him yet, so congratulations to me.
I'm glad you said knowing each other, because, it's not our anniversary in the biblical sense.
It's not in the biblical sense. That's a few months away. And why do we remember this, Dutton? Because it was back when Michael Owen wasn't an annoying, boring commentator. He was European Player of the Year, scoring 2 goals in the Stadio Olimpico for Liverpool Football Club.
He was a wunderkind.
He wasn't ex-Manchester United dick.
God, he's boring.
God, he is boring.
It's not that it's not so much that he's boring. It's that he's boring, and then when he's not being boring, he's talking crap. So I'd rather he was boring.
He's not very good at his job. To be fair, there's a lot of them that aren't very good at his job, so I shouldn't really single Michael out for criticism. There's hundreds of them. See Niall Quinn for details. But he BT have put him front and centre, and people haven't really took to him.
There are livings being stolen in the world of football punditry.
Oh, absolutely. I think the best one was I saw Paul Merson suggesting there was never a better time to play Liverpool if you were Aston Villa.
Yeah, Aston Villa are a pub team, and that's a bit unfair to some pub teams.
Well, like, like, you know it's bad when a manager who constantly celebrates everything, like a corner and a throw-in, says he doesn't want to celebrate due to the plight of a big club like Aston Villa. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of where we are in this situation.
Laughable.
It is laughable because I don't like Birmingham or their football club. So if they can go down and take West Brom with them, that'd be great.
Yep.
Dutton, we may as well start the show because otherwise we'll be talking about local area sports or food establishments for the rest of the show. Pretty short show this week. We've got what will be a regular Florida person story of the week.
I think we have to do this.
I think, and I mentioned it to Mike Freeman on Bleacher Report, who co-signed this concept of you must every week talk about someone from Florida doing something absolutely outrageous, and we will do. And we're also going to look into the world of news, what's happened this week, mainly on Twitter, to find out what stupid things or what things have been hashtag trending, Dutton, and what other things the kids say.
Twitter moments
of the week.
Can I say just quickly, just one of the best tweets I saw? I'm not a Formula One fan, as people may be aware, but Channel 4 are having the Formula One from next season, and announced that they will be keeping the chain, the Fleetwood Mac song, as the theme tune. It's just, the famous song. Obviously, the BBC used it, and someone tweeted, I don't know who it is, I can't remember, but they put, so Channel 4 will be keeping the chain. I would have thought they'd have gone their own way.
Oh no! It's and for those under the age of 40, Go Your Own Way is also a song by Fleetwood Mac. Yeah,
and if you don't know that, I don't think we can be friends.
I don't think we can be friends. So Dutton, Florida story of the week. I'm interested, Dutton. I think we need to get some kind of theme for this Florida story of the week. I was thinking about this. Maybe we get some Flo Rider talking about Florida, or maybe we just get people to tell us at waxing_lyrical what you think the theme tune should be for Florida story of the week.
I don't think we could just steal it from the RJVP and just have 59 miles to Jacksonville.
We could do, yeah. They'll never know.
No.
They'll never know. And Dan Answers won't tell them either because, they're not friends anymore.
No.
So, Dutton, here's the front page story on Huffington Post Weird News, which has its own section called Weird Florida. Amazing. Bikini Granny busted again. Yeah, okay. That's right. Florida's infamous, this is amazing by the way, Bikini Grandma is out of her bathing suit but back in trouble. Back in April of 2015, Patricia Ebel of Naples slammed her BMW into a Mustang at a traffic light. Police noted that she smelled of liquor and her 10-year-old grandson was in the car. She became internet famous in a video showing her failing a field sobriety test while wearing skimpy swimwear. A judge ordered the 50-year-old Floridian to refrain from drinking for a year, but the probation officials are now saying she failed to do so. Ebel's latest arrest came on Jan the 5th, after the test conducted by a probation officer registered a .177, double the state's legal limit. Elbert is to appear in court again on Jan the 19th.
But how will she be dressed?
That's the question, Dutton. I will tweet this out. There's a video of literally doing the sobriety test. It looks like it's in the pitch black, and she's in like a stripy bikini. To be fair, for a 50-year-old, she doesn't look three bad, but I'm not 100% sure she should be driving drunk in a bikini with her 10-year-old in the backseat.
Yeah, surely every man and his wife knows that if you're going to, get drunk and drive, especially if you're going to get that drunk, over the legal limit, double it, the correct clothing is a pair of fishing waders and a sailor's hat.
That's it, though. Nothing else.
Nothing.
Tackle showing while out in fishing waders, so to speak.
Yep.
See what I did there? That was excellent.
Very good.
So if you find a genius story. It doesn't necessarily have to be from Florida, but it's a high possibility it will be from the southern states of America, then please tweet me or Neil. I'm at Mindy7. Dutton is at ndutton13. Or you can just contact us combined at waxing_lyrical, where we had major input this week as I kept on randomly tweeting out memes related to Making a Murderer, last week's show, which has a passionate following, shall we say, Dutton.
Indeed it does.
They love talking about it. So Dutton, the main crux of the show this week, we wanted to go through some of the Twitter stories of the week. Twitter stories of the week. The week. To see what was going on, what people were saying and what we thought about it. So let's start with, I guess, the man who's owned Twitter for the past week, possibly fortnight. And I don't mean that owned it from the sense of people talking about him. I'm just saying from the fact that if you have Twitter and he's awake, your timeline is full of one sentence related activities from the man, the myth, the legend that is Kanye West.
The prick.
There's that too. So obviously Dutton's got a new album out, Life of Pablo. He released it in cinemas, random. Also in Madison Square Garden, while at the same time doing a fashion show.
So he released it in cinemas?
Yeah, you could go at, like, did you not hear this? So, like, on Thursday, middle of last week, you could go to a cinema and watch the show from Madison Square Garden where they did the live of Life of Pablo.
So what next? They're going to release movies and butchers?
I don't know. I'm just telling you. This is what
going to start sending people around to read me meter. What's going on?
Peter won't read me meter.
If there's one family that really need to bugger off, it's that family. Him and his equally objectionable spouse. Go
That's
away.
the card. For those who live under a rock and are not aware of who Dutton's speaking of, he's obviously talking about Kim, Queen of the Kardashians.
If you name your kids after points on a compass, you've got problems. Don't inflict your paper-thin personalities on innocent people. This is the problem with Twitter, because it's free. And unless you've been thrown off for various reasons, you can just keep coming on and tweeting absolute bollocks. And that's essentially what he has done for the last near fortnight.
The funny thing is, Dutton is like, he's got this new album, and I'm not 100% sure he wants people to listen to it. And why I'm saying that is, the only way you can get it is on Tidal. Like 4 people on the planet have got Tidal. That's Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye West, and probably Kim Kardashian. He's basically stated he will never put it on Apple Music. Cool story, I'll never listen to it then. And already, within the first 4 days, 500,000 people had illegally downloaded it from Pirate Bay.
Yeah, I've made more money off this album than you have, Kanye.
But the thing is, I'd understand that if Kanye West was a multi-millionaire, which you'd assume he was. But in his litany of tweets, he suggested in his personal fortune, he's $53 million in debt. How can you be alive and also owe someone or a group of people $53 million? Countries don't owe $53 million.
I mean, I'm going to assume that he hasn't spent that money fixing his teeth.
He's just got a massive jaw. It's like it never got fixed when he did Through the Wire. I think I like Kanye West when he was just, rapper guy who did the first couple of albums. But when he came, I'm bigger than God. I'm a bit like, I'm not with you there, Kanye. I'm not gonna lie. And now I find out you're £53 million in debt. How is that? Like, are you not earning any money from any of these albums? Jay-Z's a billionaire. You did an album with Jay-Z. It was probably your biggest album. You should have got half of the money that he got. What did you do with it? Set it on fire?
No, he took the box.
He's a bloody idiot.
But lest we forget, the first time most of us were aware of Mr. West was when he did a song about gold diggers. Who are you married to, mate?
She went, but the thing is, though, she is messing with a broke
Yeah, she is, yeah.
She is, because he's $53 million in debt.
And you ain't got a meal.
Next story, Dutton, is litigious and controversial, so keep your words logical, sensible, and away from the public eye.
So
That's Peyton Manning. Obviously, back when he was in Tennessee, a long, long time ago, when his forehead wasn't as big as it is now, he was cited with lewd acts against a professor. Mm-hmm. Was it a professor? Yeah. It's now come out. Additional information has come out from the New York Daily News as part of a overarching Title IX, which is like a discrimination of women lawsuit against the University of Tennessee. I guess Dutton is why do you think the Peyton Manning aspect of this has come out now?
Well, if I was being cynical, Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl 2 weeks ago. He's big news. It's popular. It's a nice story. He gets to go off in the sunset, as a hero, and his place in history secure. Instead, a newspaper of dubious ethics and a reporter who has no grasp of legalese at all because of how he's read and interpreted a report, has decided he wants to take him down a notch.
It comes out of New York. I suppose the story should be discussed. It's not. It's not something that Peyton Manning, I am sure, is very proud of. It's something that he did talk about in his book, but not very much. It does shed him in a bad light. Okay, he was 19 years of age. We were all 19 once, but we never did what they're suggesting Peyton Manning did. Does it add into a similar situation because of, if you take the HDH thing on top, and the way that the Mannings deal with this kind of bad press, is that they just say, you can't talk to us, we're the Mannings? Does it shed the whole family in bad light in terms of the way they deal with the press?
Well, the thing is, what we have to remember is this was settled out of court. It was settled. It wasn't swept under the rug. Witnesses didn't disappear and wake up, supporting motorways. It was settled. The legal process played out 20 years ago. So, it's one of those. It's a reprehensible act if true, but the case was settled out of court. So it's one of those. Aside from character assassination, I don't see any reason this story has been brought up. I mean, the Mannings, as we all know, that the first family of football almost. Go way back to when Archie Manning essentially told Eli he wasn't going to the Chargers. We know that's the image is everything, but the HGH thing, in my opinion, is bollocks as well. I mean, there's all these people who've been named, who've been named by someone who then realised he was being filmed and recanted. But it stays with Manning because only one of them was playing in the Super Bowl. It's character assassination and it's clickbait. End up 13.
I think now I wonder if that story would still have come out, say 10 years ago, because of the way newspapers were ran, and as you said, clickbait stories and the internet and Twitter and whatever. And I think it's a story that needs to be discussed, and maybe, and I don't mean now, I mean that this is something that happened in Peyton Manning's history, and maybe is something that should be looked at and queried and questioned. But as you said, in theory, in a law sense, it was dealt with. Now, it may be brought up again in the context of the Tennessee University allegations, and he may need to answer questions related to that situation, even though it's settled in court, as it is part of a wider investigation of the University of Tennessee. We'll see how that goes. If you're unsure about that kind of stuff, I listened to the Tony Kornheiser podcast, and he had Abby Lowell on yesterday, who was defined as the smartest man in Washington, and he talks about what Manning can and can't do in relation to that. So I'd recommend a listen if you do.
Another University of Tennessee players in trouble as well.
Child sex, child abuse cases, right?
Child enticement, I believe it's called.
Yeah, well, he can go and live with Adam Johnson on that island where no one else is allowed to go. Next story, much more light-hearted, much more fun, but a bit risque, and that's Deadpool. Deadpool, obviously a Marvel character, and making money as an R-rated in the States, or what will be in the UK a 15 certificate film. It's breaking records and shows that you don't need to make all your films available for 6 and 7-year-olds to watch to make money.
Yeah, I mean, by all accounts, it's one big long piss take of the whole genre throughout the whole film.
Which is Deadpool's shtick anyway. That's what he's good at.
I mean, Peter Parker, by all accounts, most contemporary versions of him now, like the cartoons, he's a wiseacre. He likes to crack the odd joke interspersed with teenage angst. But most of the other ones don't take themselves. Well, they take themselves very seriously. Bruce Wayne isn't exactly laugh a minute. Neither's Batman. Superman, square jaw.
When he finds a personality, he'll be the first one. Yeah.
Well, it was one of those. Personality on Krypton wasn't essential.
But I assume it was it. I assume you swapped it for superpowers.
That was it. Yeah, that's what the S means. But might be then. You put this way, Schneider. You can say what you want. S stands for. So can I. It stands for no personality. That's not an S. So what? By all accounts, Ryan Reynolds, who has done this now, he's now played 2 superheroes. Well, we know my opposition to the term superhero, but for this genre, this is his second one. By all accounts, this is a much better vehicle for him than the Green Lantern was.
Not difficult to be a better film. It brings about the question that each time the second time someone's been a character, they've done much better. Let's say Chris Evans was a flame boy, becomes Captain America. Mm-hmm. Ryan Reynolds was Green Lantern, becomes Deadpool. Fingers crossed for all concerned. Ben Affleck was Daredevil. He's about to become Batman. Don't let the sides here, Ben.
Don't forget that Halle Berry has played 2 superheroes as well.
If we're suggesting that Catwoman's a superhero.
Well, technically Storm isn't a superhero.
She's a mutant. And so's Deadpool. Kind of. And what my favourite line in the film, although I haven't seen it yet, is Deadpool is being taken away to Professor Xavier's house, and his response is, which one am I going to see, Patrick Stewart or James McAvoy? I get confused by all this timeline shit.
Brilliant.
Next story, Dutton. Brings controversy with it, but controversy I'm not 100% sure why. It's controversy by square and boring people, and that is Barcelona, and specifically Messi and Suarez for their penalty hijinks in their Sunday game against Celta Vigo. For those who haven't seen it, Messi, they win a pen, Messi goes to take it, and instead of shooting as the want of penalty takers, he passes it sideways for Neymar. However, Luis Suarez, who's on his second goal, gets ahead of Neymar and smashes it into the back of the net.
Which is it is within the rules, because all it says is the ball must be kicked forward.
Ball must be kicked forward, and the player who takes the penalty cannot kick the ball again
until another player
touches it.
Which
so,
is why,
for example,
if someone takes a penalty and hits the post or bar and comes back to them, they can't.
Correct.
Think back, Teddy Sheringham missed a penalty on his Man United debut, hit the post, came back to him, and he tried to put it in. Very clever.
That's a free kick. You cockney wide boy. I hate you.
Looks like Nick Faldo.
Doesn't look like Nick Faldo. Shut up.
Who also looks like Harrison Ford.
Also looks like... You're an idiot. Stuart, where do you stand on the pen?
I don't really have a strong opinion. I think it's outside the box thinking. It's something that if Bill, it's something that Bill Belichick would do, or encourage them to do because it's in the rules. You can do it. But the big question is, would they have done it at 0-0? Probably not.
Probably not. But the question then becomes: is it disrespectful to Celta Vigo that it occurred?
You're 4-1 down. You've been disrespected. As the Celta Vigo keepers come out and said, I'm not pissed off how they did it. I'm angry we conceded a goal. Well, yeah. It comes back to this old story again. You don't want them to do it. Stop them.
Yeah, it is that situation. I mean, the classic Premier League example is Pires and Henry tried to do it. Pires missed the ball. But, like, if you remember the disdain that Danny Mills showed them, because it was against Manchester City when Manchester City were in a football club, it suggested that that he wasn't happy and he found it disrespectful. Do we find it disrespectful? I don't. I find it fun, entertaining. That's what football should be. Every team should want to play like Barcelona, but every team shouldn't try and play like Barcelona. You should only try and play like Barcelona if you're actually good at football.
Exactly, and most people aren't. It's one of those. I doubt they'll do it again.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, he had a pen today, and Suarez took it, and he missed
it.
He missed. They still won 3-1, but yeah.
He decided instead he didn't want to score penalties. He wanted to score absolute worldies with his swinging foot. That's
because he's, okay. And there's a serious debate between myself and a friend of mine, Damien, where Luis Suarez is the third best player in the world and also the third best player on his own team,
but doesn't owe $34 million in taxes.
Doesn't own taxes, no. We allegedly, we find, we not yet anyway. Barcelona love bending a rule. Although I don't know if you saw today in another story related to the Spanish giants, this time Real Madrid, European MPs are looking to investigate the Gareth Bale scenario, as Gareth Bale was signed from a loan from a bank that the European bailout. So in theory, Europe bailed out a bank that then gave Real Madrid a loan. I don't know why Real Madrid need a loan, which they then bought Gareth Bale with. Therefore, Gareth Bale is owned by the European people, not Real Madrid.
Newsflash: Spanish banks bankroll Real Madrid. In other breaking news, water still wet.
Yes, Dutton. Yes. Final story, and possibly my favourite of the week, is it was the Grammys this week. That's not my favourite story of the week. I don't actually care about the Grammys. I don't know any of the people who win most of the time, and I know infinitely more about music than you do. However, modern music, okay. Maybe we need a quiz on who knows more about, music from 1990 backwards.
Yeah.
And speaking of musicians from 1990 backwards, it was highlighted in the Guardian. I'll tweet this out at waxing_lyrical that a famous artist was denied entry to one of the Grammy parties. Now you think, maybe he's not that famous. Maybe you know him, but I don't know him. So it's one of them things. No, it was Sir Paul McCartney. One of the most famous people on the planet. Now, we may be biased here on the Waxing Lyrical, as we're both from Liverpool, but Dutton doesn't like the Beatles. Dutton doesn't particularly like Paul McCartney. I do, so I am biased, but that's ridiculous. He's the most famous man on the planet. Musician on the planet.
I was just going to say, he's probably the most famous person in the world who can play a guitar.
Left-handed. Do you think, what situation arises where a bouncer at a music party doesn't know Sir Paul McCartney is?
A bouncer who thinks I can be famous tomorrow as the bouncer who didn't let Paul McCartney in.
And by Jove, has it worked? By Jove, has it worked? Okay, from a music point of view, there's a music party and you don't recognise someone and you don't let them in. At the moment, who's the worst person it could be where you just be like, you're an idiot for not knowing who that person
is? Just in music or in...
Let's do music first and then we'll go through other ones.
If you didn't know who... Oh God, Madonna.
Yeah, I'd say Beyonce. If Beyonce walked up and you're like, oh, sorry, love, can't let you in because I haven't got a clue who you are, probably should be sacked.
Yeah.
Sport, Dutton. Who's the sportsman? Beckham. If Beckham walks up to you, there's absolutely no way in any country you wouldn't know who he is, right?
No.
Film.
Brangelina.
Or Leo DiCaprio. Leo's the one for me because he's going to be at a party because he's trying to sniff out the next 26-year-old he can sleep with because he's like got the best job in the business, like, which is basically banging women.
Mm-hmm. Or Clooney. Yeah, or
Clooney, but I think Clooney's married now, so he's given up his right. He's passed his title of take a number, I'm just with this other hottie, to Leo DiCaprio.
See, George Clooney, wisely married a human rights lawyer, obviously sick of how he's been getting the piss ripped out of him for all these people stealing his Nespresso.
Boo, boo. There are Twitter stories of the week. If you've got any stories that you think we should be talking about on next week's Waxing Lyrical or Waxing Lyricals in the future, drop us a line at waxing_lyrical or drop me and Dutton an individual line at ndutton13 and at Mainsy7.
Yeah, tell your friends about the pod as well. We like to listen, have new people listen to us and potentially new people we can annoy.
Obviously, we've moved from previous feeds and we're back to our old one, so as Dutton says, if you can retweet the show, share the show with friends, relatives, loved ones, even people you hate, we don't particularly care as long as we get the download figures.
That's it. Ultimately, subscribe, download, don't even listen.
Over the next few weeks, number of different interviews. Unfortunately, you will have to listen to us talk about cricket. For people who don't like cricket, you can move on. We may have a BBC commentator talking about the World 2020. We'll also talk about a multitude of other things, and we'll have a multitude of interviews going forward. And Dutton is hot on the works of getting Waxing Lyrical, Mains and Dot sponsored by ... to be confirmed.
Mm-hmm. But I have to tell you, the butcher shop in the village is very excited.
And I'm sure the person in London who listens to this show will look forward to getting his 15% discount at Joe's Butchers in Rainford.
There's just some great sausages.
I can't say that they don't, because that may affect our sponsorship.
Mm-hmm.
And on that absolutely ridiculous note, which continues the rest of the show, this has been Waxing Lyrical. Get used to it.